just blow over. The Zerg won't stop until we're all dead.
Vengeance shall be mine.
The 7 evils are one within me. I am Legion.
Stay a while and listen.
To ask why we fight is to ask why leaves fall.
You are not prepared.
Warcraft players, where you at? Starcraft players, where you at? Diablo players, where you at?
This week, we're playing Devil's Advocate on some things, building a turtle deck, and Hearthstone's getting ready to wipe for the first time. Welcome to BlizzPro's TwizzCast.
Disturbing hallucination. You're hearing voices.
Welcome to TwizzCast, everyone. We are here to share with you our experiences and news concerning all games under the Blizzard Entertainment logo, ranging from World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, and much more. But in case you're curious as to who we are on this show, please allow me to go ahead and bring in the co-hosts. Oh boy, from the land of milk, honey, and accents, also known as North Dakota, please help me welcome my favorite female co-host, the Rogue, the Warrior, the Engaged Reb. Hello, dear.
Hello, Twizz. Hello, chat room. Hello, downloaders. Hello, everyone. And I had no idea this was the land of milk and honey.
Me neither.
But I'm cool with it.
Okay. It is, trust me. Trust me. And from the same state, the man who helped make milk the official beverage of North Dakota, it's the prop pally extraordinaire, the almost bearded Hoda. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone! That was my attempt at, like, the Hello Lucy, but I don't think it went off very well, so we're going to ignore that.
I'm glad you explained that.
Yeah.
We'll try that one again next week. All right.
Yeah.
So, and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada, if he had a penny for every demon he's killed in Diablo 3, he could buy North Dakota. Welcome back to the show, the streaming demon Archon. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. To be fair, I bet that North Dakota would be pretty cheap, but I'm happy to be here.
There it was. And the left and right hand side of the screen
can't
just
disagree.
exploded. It just exploded. So,
We got that oil money now. No way.
wow.
No way.
Big money. Big money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
for those of you who are wondering, my name is Twizz. I'm an alcoholic, and I have zero affiliation with North Dakota. So, throwing that out there. As always, I would like to give a salute to our resident chat room bouncer, Angry Orc. Make sure you're following him at AngryOrc1 on Twitter for the best part of your Twitter experience. A quick reminder, everybody, I say this every week, but I can't stress it enough. Several ways to get your TwizzCast and BlizzPro fix. We're available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and the RSS feed can be found at TwizzCast.com. The show notes for this episode and everything discussed can be found in the same place and BlizzPro.com. And also, if you want to follow us on Twitch TV, you're going to get an email every time we go live. That way you will never miss our show when we go live every week. So make sure you hit that follow button and tune in when you have the chance. So lastly, for everybody, you guys can tune into, or you can email us, podcast@blizzpro.com. That will put your email in my inbox. I still have to find a way to make that not sound dirty, guys, but whatever. So
Slide in your emails.
ooh, it's Friday night. So anyways, enough with the witty banter. We have, as always, a lot of ground to cover. Let's dive into our week in gaming. Reb, what have you been up to?
Okay, first off, let me just say, Archon, why did you have to mention Cookie Clicker last week?
I warned you.
The last 48 hours has been consumed by this ignorant game where it's nothing but clicking cookies. But other than that...
Ignorant.
Ignorant. Other than that, let's get into the Blizzard world. So, as you all know, well, most of you know, we will be attending the World of Podcast event the Thursday before BlizzCon. And we're doing some panels, and I was slotted for the World of Warcraft lore panel. So I've been kind of brushing up on the lore a little bit. I'm not familiar with all sections of lore. I'm kind of particular on which ones I like, and I like to study on, like the dragons are really cool. So I decided to pick up, I've had it forever, but I have Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects novel, and I've started reading that this week, and it's really good so far, and so I'll probably have it finished in like a week or two and be able to tell you all about it. Other than that, in-game,
You made it sound like you were
pretty...
training. You made it sound like you were training, like you were like, I'm brushing up on my lore. Like, I picture you like getting up in the morning and putting like a sweatband on.
That's why I have like my like
weights.
easy sweat coat kind of thing. What's this
You
called?
should make like an
Sweatshirt.
awesome like reading montage, like read to win, and you're like flipping pages, and stuff.
Read to win. Well,
Slamming Gatorade.
I thought you were about to go like the 50 Shades of Grey path and have to like read excerpts seriously.
It is Friday night. Could get saucy.
Who knows?
TwizzCast After Hours. But actually diving into the actual gaming, I finally finished Act 4 Inferno level on my monk.
Ooh,
Yay!
Hey, good job.
Round of applause.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, it's taken a while. I've been stuck on Act 4 for quite...
These people are clapping. Would you just soak it up for a second? Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the little people. You really got me there. It was rather difficult, and I found that it wasn't so much the boss fights that were difficult. It was like the little elites that you would come across now and then with those stupid arcane beams. Oh, I hated them so much. The fire chains. But believe it or not, when I got to Diablo and I was finishing him up on Inferno level, I got the achievement at the very end for not getting caged. It was the first time in all of the different levels that I was not caged at all during his fight. And I was like, yay, I finally learned from my mistakes. Good for me.
Very nice. Very nice.
Both of y'all are like, oh, man, I've been stuck in those cages for too long.
I hate those cages.
I'm sitting here like, what's Cage? And Archon's like, oh my god, can't believe it.
Oops. Now let me head over to something that maybe Archon can scratch his head on. I've been playing a lot of WoW this past week, and Lord have mercy. Last week, the second wing of Siege of Orgrimmar came out for flex rating, and I believe it was either the first or second night. We immediately went in there, and we just bumped our heads against that first boss, the little dragon flying around that you have to capture the towers to shoot him down and kick his little butt.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, it was difficult. I left crying. But the LFR version of it came out, and I went in there with a whole bunch of our guildies in Twisted Empire, including Angry Orc, and it took probably 2 tries, but we finally did get the first boss down. The second boss was easy peasy, the Iron Juggernaut, which is this huge scorpion who just... the worst part is when he pushes you back, and if you're melee, you just have to run back to him. That's honestly the worst part for a DPS. And then the third fight in LFR was the 2 shaman inside the gates of Orgrimmar, and we wiped on that endlessly. And finally, about the 4th wipe or so, 4th, 5th wipe, I was like, you know what, this is a really long fight. I'm tired. I'm not having it. There's no determination that could stack up that's gonna make me willing to stay here. So I kind of noobed out, but I got some pieces, so I was pretty happy. We also did a flex raid with Twiggy, who is one of the co-hosts. If you're familiar with TwizzCast back in its early days, Twiggy was leading a flex raid. I believe it was last Friday or last weekend.
Yeah.
And it was easy peasy. It was the first 4 bosses, and I don't think we wiped, but maybe one time on Shaw of Pride, if that.
Okay.
I mean, it was pretty nice, and I got a little chest piece for my rogue. It looks like a dress. Who knew? Who knew? It's like the monk tier. It's a dress, so they give the rogue the dress too. I don't quite like it. I don't quite understand it, but
hey,
whatever.
Women in New York City stab people in dresses all day long. Don't think like this is some crazy thing here. This happens regularly. Just saying.
Oh, I see
Bad
what
at
you're
that one.
And North Dakota as well.
But other than raiding and getting gear like that, we also, the Twisted Empire crew, we took 10 people last night, and we went and did heroic Blackwing Descent, heroic Bastion of Twilight, including Sinestra, and then heroic Throne of the Four Winds, and it was so much fun. And we really only had difficulty on heroic Nefarian, Like, it wasn't even Sinestro that we had the difficulty with. It was Nefarian that it was like, oh, man, what are we missing right now? But it was so cool. I finally got my Dragon Slayer title. I had most of the achievements, so I kind of missed out on that. But overall, it was so much fun to just go in with my guildies and just have a night off. And that was last night, actually. I was like, oh, what am I going to do with my TwizzCast Thursday?
I know, right? I know.
So yeah, that was pretty much my week in gaming. What about you, Hoda, since you punked out with us doing flex rating this week?
What?
What the F?
No.
Dude? Come with the F. What? What are you doing?
I know how she gonna call me out like that. That's bogus right there. No, I was just gonna say I don't even know how to start. I've been rating so much, I can't even talk about it. Like, it's been crazy with LFRs coming out now, and the flexes, like, every week, increments. Oh, you run it on your main, right? Then you're like, dude, my ult's so geared from the time of Sile now. I need to raid on that guy, too. So it's really been nonstop raiding, which is good and bad. It's almost to the point where I feel like I have to. And it's only been like 2 weeks. Is that bad?
That's bad.
That's bad.
right.
Yeah, I think so. But no, it's been really fun. Like Reb was saying, we did a couple flex, maybe last week or this week, I can't remember. But I also jumped in with Nineball, who's one of the authors at BlizzPro. He does a lot of like the Diablo write-ups and stuff like that. And he has like a heroic guild, so I kind of did the cross realm thing with him. And this was like the first day or so, the second wing of LFR came out in the Siege, and man, we just blasted through that, and I'm glad those guys were like overgeared because, like you're saying, Reb, that's kind of a doozy, that LFR, not LFR, I'm sorry, the flex rating in that. Sure. It's no joke, so.
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke at all.
No, for reals.
Actually, those of you who are watching,
really fun.
Those of you who are watching Hoda in the chat room, his video is not freezing up. He is actually a beast ventriloquist. Absolutely,
no.
beast. Yeah.
Is it freezing? What am I doing?
Yeah, it's
Is it
right.
still going?
Yeah, it's every once in a while it freezes up, so it's okay.
Well, there's a reason it's freezing. I'm kind of possessed. If listeners, but chat room right now, if you can see, right here, my chair in the back has a face, and it is like staring at me.
It does.
It's awkward.
So Zaram?
It's man.
It must be Zaram.
Zaram or Bashak, one of the two. I don't know. It's creepy.
Okay, sorry. So, anyways,
yeah, back to the rating, and then I've been doing the LFRs, and I'm kind of with the people complaining, and the devs are out throwing blue posts everywhere at the LFR difficulty at the second wing of Siege of Oromar, because it is. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me ask you guys a question. Archon, I'm sorry, bro, you probably won't know, but do you feel like it was this hard the first couple weeks in TOT? Like, I know there's quite a big learning curve up from like the first tier of the expansion, but I feel like Siege is crushing right now, like just destroying groups and families and little children.
I think probably like the first 3 bosses are pretty welcoming, and then I think once you get to the 4th boss, it's like you need to man up because we're bringing all we got. And that's how I feel the bosses get continuously harder and more difficult and more challenging.
Yeah, I really think the second wing is, I don't know what's going on, but it was pretty crazy. Other than that, man, it's been a really good week getting back into WoW and just getting the rating going, man. I'm hooked on it. I need to do it like all the time. It's really good. But that's about it, man. What's been going on in the Diablo world, Archon? What's happening?
Not a lot going on in the Diablo world. I mean, I guess we're getting a lot of news, but in the actual game itself, it's been hard to continue getting motivation to keep farming, I think.
You mean you don't know because you've been on Cookie Clicker the whole time?
Okay, fine. Like nothing but Cookie Clicker the whole week. I can't stop. I'm cooking right now.
Cookie crack rock.
I've been tied to, but anyways. No, but I think a lot of people have been taking breaks from Diablo 3 because it feels like we're not getting a lot for our time right now, considering that it's going to be mostly a full reset when Reaper of Souls comes out.
Sure.
I mean, I'm still going strong with the Paragon leveling. I'm on Wizard number 2, and I'm about to hit Paragon 100 on her. But yeah, it's a little rough. It's nice having the stream, I should say, because I can just play Diablo and chat with them, and that makes it a lot more fun. But usually Diablo is what I'm doing like in the background.
Yeah. I saw you building a set the other day. I visit your stream a couple of times throughout the week just to say hi to everybody and whatever. And actually, dude, you have a pretty awesome chat room. You have a really great chat room, good people in there hanging out and doing whatever. So, but I did see you kind of going through the auction house and like scanning through some gear and building a set and everything like that. What was that all about? Who were you doing that for? What was going on with that?
Yeah, we build right now. I build 4 sets a week. So like 2 times a week, we do a raffle in chat. Someone wins, we give them 100 million gold plus whatever they want to put in, and I build them whatever set they want. And then twice a week, we do an auction for points that they get if they help us raise money for charity. And then for those sets, anyone in chat can donate, and we just try to get as much gold as we can and build like a really awesome set for them. So yeah, it's fun. It splits up the day a little bit, and people who are kind of new or don't know a lot about a certain build can kind of watch that set be built and then understand how to build it themselves. Yeah, it's not. I kind of split up the farming with that kind of stuff, and then we play like Deal or No Deal Diablo Edition and
Nice.
kind of stuff.
Nice, dude.
But I guess more exciting than Diablo has been StarCraft 2 this week.
Ooh.
I learned how horrible I really am at StarCraft.
You and me both, dude. Don't sweat it.
Welcome to the club, exactly.
Yeah, well, my brother has been giving me some one-on-one coaching. He's Diamond League. He's not Masters, but he knows what he's doing at least. And I've gotten a bit better. I didn't realize that there's like standard builds. There's like very specific action by action builds that people in certain leagues kind of all just mimic.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was more like on your feet making decisions as you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's you have to build X amount of these, and then you go to the next thing and X amount of these, and then it's like a cookie cutter basically, like is what you're describing.
Cookie clicker, what?
Cookie what? Cookie crack rock.
Tainted.
Were you streaming your StarCraft as well?
Yeah, so he's been streaming after me, so like in between our streams, he does a few sessions with me, and I suck a little bit less each time, but
I was just gonna say there's probably that one person in the chat room like, what are you doing?
that one person in the chat room. Yeah.
Archon, I don't know if you know this, but like a good majority of how well you play StarCraft has to do with your name that you would be in the WCS tournament. And I don't know if you know this, but we had MVP as one of the players. Twiz himself is dead last. Hoda is fluffy French toast, and I'm Juice Caboose. Which one would you be?
Oh, wait. What are the remaining options here?
I mean, you can be anything you want to be.
What would your
anything I
name
want?
Be? Yeah.
Well, you're saying the ranking in this tournament is based on my name.
Yes, I mean that has to do so much with how well you play StarCraft, and that must be your problem ultimately.
Yeah.
Maybe just winner should be my name.
Ooh.
And then
that's like MVP.
MVP, yeah, that's seems like a pretty big coincidence. He's making it to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's all in the name.
Well,
yeah.
So I would try to change the name this week and then see how you do. Just saying.
Give that a whirl.
Yeah, I'll give that a try.
It's pro advice.
Anything would work better than what I'm doing right now. Useless. No idea what I'm doing. But yeah, that's about it. Mostly Diablo with a little bit of StarCraft.
Good.
What about you, Twiz?
You know what? Got a whole bunch of stuff going on this week. Well, before I talk about the things that I did in gaming this week, a couple of things I want to let everybody know about. Next week, Reb is going to be off. She's got some family coming into town, so we are having Zen Style at Robert A. Wing on Twitter. He is the spit, gum, and glue of the Hearthstone.blizzpro.com website and the Hearth Pro show. He's going to pinch it and come hang out with us on the show. So we're very excited to have him. He's got a really over the top personality as well. So I'm anxious to have him on the show. So we'll miss you next week, Reb, but
he'll be a good fill-in.
Good fill-in. That he will.
I have no idea where you're going with that.
That he will. So, and actually, you know what? It depends on how it's going to play out. We're waiting on some times, and we are in negotiations right now. Our people are faxing their people. But next week, we're going to be sitting down with the Hearthstone development team. So, pretty excited about that. We're going to be talking to the developers about the game, some of the specifics, some of the general questions, everything from beta launch to where they're at now, and everything that's happening there. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to do is believe it or not, I'm not going to make this one a live show. And there's a couple of reasons behind it.
Go on.
Go. You're saying? No. I'm not going to make it a live show, but I am going to have it on TwizzCast.com. It's going to be on BlizzPro.com. It's going to be on the BlizzPro YouTube channel. And it's going to be available. The MP3 will be on iTunes and Stitcher and the RSS feed and everything like that. So it's going to be an awesome interview. Got a lot planned, a lot up my sleeve, but it's just not going to be live. So it's all good. Don't worry about it. In actual gaming news, in actual no crap gaming news, my raid team went 8 of 12 in TOT in 3 hours on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I know everybody's like, "Oh, dude, 20% nerf. Hello, that's not a big thing." We've only been a raid team for less than a month, and there was a lot of these fights that we've never seen before, and we one-shotted it. And of course, the 20% nerf helps tremendously and everything. But it's like, you know what? If we didn't have that 20% nerf, and I just feel like if we didn't have that, and we were actually going at these bosses, we would progress normally. You know what I mean? Like if the nerf wasn't in effect. So I think we'd do okay. So we're going through there. I'm going to extend the raid lockout. We're going to kill the last 4 bosses, I hope, this coming Monday night. And then we're going to see how we are on gear, and then we're going to go into TOT. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, you want about 520 or so to go into TOT, and I think that's stupid, and I'll tell you why. First and foremost, let's say you're decked out in full-on TOT gear. That's 522s. That's all. Your eye level's 522. Okay, and that's if you are fully geared. That gives you 2 eye level points of wiggle room from new tier to old tier. It's not going to happen that way, especially when LFR is at 496. I'm thinking realistically, you've got to be somewhere around 510 or something like that. And so I think at 510 we're going to be. I think we're already geared enough for it. I really, truly do. I think we are. Everybody's sitting in the ballpark of 515 anyway. So
yeah, to go into Siege, I think most people are around like 511, 512-ish to about 520, and seems to be doing just fine, at least for the 3 bosses at the very least.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we're gonna just to finish TOT and just to do it and just to see it and everything like that. I'm also a little bummed that Lei Shen doesn't drop anything higher than a 522. Usually the end boss drops something that's a little bit, Gratz type thing. He drops the old, guaranteed 528 or something like that. But whatever, it's all right. It happens. One of the things that I did do is I did play a little bit of Hearthstone on my tablet. And every time I mention this, everybody's like, how'd you do that? If you go to BlizzPro's YouTube channel, I actually have a video posted of how I did it and everything like that. And I used
hacker
uber elite hack.
I had to hack into the Pentagon to do it. But once you do that, it's really easy. No, you know what? I use an app called Splash Top, which just gives me my desktop screen on my tablet, and it's super user friendly. But anyways, besides that, I started building and working with my Druid deck. I've been playing a Shaman deck for a long time, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I have a good strategy, but I am doing it with the wrong class. Okay, everything that I'm gathering, the Shaman strategy is to get your minions out there, get your totems out there, get as much as you can out there, bloodlust and kill. And I felt like every time I put something out there, a totem, a minion, or anything like that, my opponent would kill them and buff themselves. That was just how it was. And it was, how do I get past this? You know what? I can't. How am I supposed to get a whole bunch of minions out there and then bloodlust? What's that?
Murlocs.
I know. Murlocs are one thing. I don't know. It seems to be pretty successful, but to me it doesn't feel like there's enough Murloc cards in there to have that be a dependable thing.
Just admit it, Twiz. You're a hipster. You don't want to do what everybody else is doing.
I get it. So I cut my cards, and I cut myself. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I haven't had any luck with Shaman other than Murloc decks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe that is what it is. So I was always trying to burn the player down, just ignore their minions and go straight for the throat. So I tried doing that with I built a Druid deck. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I can get a little bit of armor. I can actually attack, even if I don't have a minion out there. Like, if I can get some right cards going and everything, I could be in pretty good shape. I may have a good strategy, but I was just playing with the wrong class. And come to find out, honestly, I was dead wrong. I sucked equally with my druid deck. I know, right? I did. I sucked equally. And it was... So, I don't know. I've come to the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I am just genuinely bad at this game. And that is just the cold hard truth. There's no getting around it. So,
are you starting with decks that have already been successful with other people, or are you just building them from scratch?
I'm building them from scratch.
Yeah. I think you should just go Hearthstone.com.
Right there, you just were like, oh, okay. Okay, I see, Twizz. You're an idiot. There we go. Okay. So let's see here. You built this deck yourself.
Take after the show, Twizz. Like, dude, what are you doing? Look at this.
You built this deck yourself.
That's how I built. I try to build my own decks from scratch, but it takes so much time, like just switching out cards one by one until you finally get it. But if you start with a deck that works, then you can make like whatever changes you want. But at least you know it works from the get-go.
You mean the cards do something? I just like the pictures, so I click on it.
They make funny animations when they're set down, and I like the audio.
Don't try and backpedal out of this, Archon. You called me stupid in front of everybody. Not funny. Okay. Anyways, whatever. You know what, though? I do want to kind of give a little bit of a shout-out. One of my... actually, pretty much the guy that runs the strategies, Kilroy. He's also known as the butthole of TwizzCast. He is he did a phenomenal job in getting us through the TOT fights, but he is also the new co-host of the Epic Questions podcast. So, and Epic Insanity is the host of that. So, you know what? He's a good friend of the Ray team, good friend of the show. Doing great things. He finally got his dream shot of being on a podcast, and he landed on a good one. So I just want to give him a pat on the back and a little plug.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So, also very excited about BlizzCon. It's coming up 6 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's like, yeah, 42.
That's crazy.
42 days from right now.
Wow.
It's like 41, but with one more.
That is one more than 41.
It is. It's just similar. Just a little quick thing I threw out there. So
nice.
But it's 6 ways. If you go to the Twisted Empire forums, which is empire.engine.com, ENJIN.com, I did put a post up there this week that was basically about, are you going to BlizzCon in Twisted Empire? If you're in Twisted Empire and you're going to BlizzCon, please sign up here so that way we can get everybody together. I want to hang out with everybody and get like a guild picture and whatever. And even if you don't have tickets, there's a lot of Twisted Empire people that are going that don't have tickets. Because last I checked, the bars are open anyways. So
we gonna close them down.
Along with the picture you want to get, Twizz, I want to get like a video of everybody like walking slow motion to somebody with a camera, you know? But I mean,
yeah.
What we're trying to build up to is the Harlem Shake.
Well, they can either pretend to walk slow-mo or, slow it down. But, it's like the badass walk, like, we're Twisted Empire.
I picture the Office Space, like when they're going out to destroy the copy machine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the same page. We can do that. Yep. Okay. Or we don't have the camera equipment. Everybody's just gonna have to walk really slow. One of the two.
And then Harlem Shake. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, anyways, go to twistedempire.engine.com and check out that forum post, and make sure you add to it if you're gonna be there. So, and you know what? I want to say I said this last year, and I didn't say it the year before because I wasn't doing a podcast then. But it's fall, and I love fall. Fall is when I first started playing World of Warcraft, so I'm looking at things like Brewfest and Hollow's End and everything like that. And I don't know. I love World of Warcraft in the fall. It's a weird thing. Do you guys have anything like that? You guys?
I love Hollow's End. I love it. I think it's actually a lot of people's favorite part of the year. We've been hearing things in Guild about people liking the Brewfest and the Hollow's End coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I always picture like my little warlock in Shatrath, and we're, I'm flying around on a broomstick and whatever. I don't know. It was just
I love the broomsticks.
Yeah, it was just when I first started playing, so I don't know. Funny enough, though, Angry Orc is a big fan of Fall as well. And in this week's diary, we hear a little bit more about that as well as his future plans with Garrosh and maybe running for War Chief. So let's have a listen to that. Dear Diary, I love Fall. Not slow fall. I mean, that's okay too. But the season, it's getting cooler and trees are dying. Kind of reminds me of that resto druid I squashed yesterday. Anyways, the siege on Orgrimmar has begun, and I gotta say, I am so relieved. The place has never been busier. It's awesome. So many people to kill. Gnomes are pouring through the gates, and they're flying back over the wall. And the kick is up. It's good! The fires are lit, and the party favors are in place. This is epic, Diary. But you have to be ready at a moment's notice. I was lounging around in a beanbag chair when we got the battle cry that a raid was coming. You know how hard it is for a 700-pound orc to get out of a beanbag chair? It's the only time I've ever had to move like a monk. So now everyone's pouring through the gates while the Worgen pee on the sand. I can't say lawn since we don't have one. And I couldn't care less about defending Garrosh. Heck, I guess I'll take a stab at the big dude with everyone else. Perhaps I'll get to rise in power over this. Perhaps I'll get to be the new war chief. Can you imagine, Diary, being totally in charge and having absolute rule, and nobody being able to do anything about it? What's the worst that could happen? Signed, Angry Orc.
What do you think? I like turtles. All right.
He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me.
The news.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, the BlizzPro news is here, and everybody, I just want to let you know I'm changing the show format up just a little bit. Normally, I would do all the World of Warcraft news right here, but I'm finding out that a lot of the WoW news that's out there is already covered on BlizzPro.com. So I may as well just discuss the news and WoW news and everything like that and all the articles all in one spot. So that's how we're going to do it until I decide otherwise, which, who knows, that might be next week. Who knows? But the BlizzPro news is sponsored in part by AskMrRobot.com. If you want to push your character to his or her fullest potential, make sure that you are using Ask Mr. Robot to do that. And as always, we're going to bring you guys up to speed on some of the articles that you may have missed on BlizzPro.com. We don't cover all the articles, or just the ones that we think are good, but when it comes to the news and what's happening in the community and the games that Blizzard has to offer, BlizzPro.com has articles as soon as any of the information gets released. So if you like what you're about to hear, make sure you head over to BlizzPro.com and check out the vast amount of articles we did not have time to cover. So, a little bit of news. This isn't really new news, but it's something that I meant to bring up several episodes ago, and it just never happened. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I thought I heard, like, anticipation from Hoda or something like that.
Oh, it was,
He's just really excited about this. Not so new news.
You caught me. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm getting I can hear myself in somebody's headset. Well, anyways, I think we're good. But what was I saying? Oh, Diablo 3 has a new community manager. Community manager Nevelistis, Nevalistis, and she's awesome. She just joined the team not too long ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, something like that. It may have been beforehand, and she just kind of started coming out of the woodwork. I'm not 100% sure, but she's very cool. Also found out through the grapevine she's a huge TwizzCast fan. So welcome to the D3 team. Have you heard or seen anything out of her at all, Archon, or no?
No, I guess she used to be on the team and then she's back or something. I saw all the other CMs saying welcome back, and I don't know what that was about.
Okay. No, I don't know. That's news to me. So
the CMs are good at picking names that are hard to pronounce.
It's true.
Of course.
It's true. You know what though? I mean, yeah, Nevelistis at Twitter at CM_Nevelistis. Why is that? You're right. There's always like a weird silent G or something in there, kind of. I don't know. It's weird. Even though Nevelistis doesn't have a G in it. Whatever. So
we'll put one in there. It's silent.
We'll put one in there with a silent PH. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about as far as news goes is Hearthstone. There's a little bit of an update. There is a wipe incoming. And you heard me right, folks. Blizzard is wiping out all the cards that you have collected if you are in the beta. This was actually talked about when the closed beta was released, so it shouldn't be a major surprise. The main reason they're doing this is to rebalance some of the cards. Now, here's a few things to remember. If you are in the closed beta, don't cry about this. All right? I know,
But
right?
my cards are all gone.
I know.
But I spent real money on these cards, Twiz. Tell me why I shouldn't be crying for spending real money.
I will tell you. I will tell you right now. Okay. Blizzard, I mean, it's pretty... Blizzard usually doesn't let anything carry over from the betas or the PTRs into the real game. And any money that you spent while you're buying the booster packs is going to be reimbursed to you with gold, so you can buy them again. And you know what? Maybe you'll get better cards than the ones you opened originally. You know? So
maybe you'll get Deathwing.
Glass half full. Chat room is exploding. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, after a quick scan, everybody's still got their clothes on. All right, I'll catch up with that in a minute. And when they wipe the slate, they'll be upgrading to different equipment. So it's likely that people are going to start getting opt-ins. Zaraya announced earlier this week that the reason that there were so few beta invites was a hardware limitation. And with this wipe happening, the hardware will upgrade to allow the masses to come in. So I'm really not sure if there's anybody out there that wants to be in the Hearthstone beta, or if they're looking for a key or anything. But if there is somebody out there, then chances are they'll get their opportunity in the not too distant future.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think there's any chance they'll just go right into open beta?
I don't know. You know what? No.
I think it will, actually, to be honest with you, because even there's actually drama about this. We were just talking about, Reb and I were kind of making fun of it, but there's actually people legitimately concerned, oh, why are they wiping my beta and stuff? And people just need to understand it's a beta, it's a test. You're testing for the good of the masses. So I don't know. I don't understand it, why the people are so up in arms, but I think it's going to go to open beta so everybody can chill and finally get their hands on it. So
I think they're going to give it a couple weeks. I really do. I think they're going to give it.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to transfer everything to new equipment and everything like that, and revamp the cards and stuff like that, and dump it into open beta for everybody and their brother. They're doing this in baby steps, and I think they're going to continue to do that in baby steps. As a matter of fact, I would not be surprised if the closed beta was still, I don't know, for 2-3 more weeks, possibly. Yeah. Just to make sure that everything's cool. Because what happens when they go into open beta and everybody that was in closed beta, they don't get their gold because of something, for some reason, or whatever, or anything can happen. So
I don't know. What do you think, Archon? Is the game is pretty polished for those who don't know. Everything looks great, sounds great. It's really kind of the fine tuning and balancing the cards, right? With the numbers and everything. Don't you think that's what they're doing at the moment?
Yeah. They talked a little bit about the rogue being overpowered and the priest being underpowered. So it seems like there's a little bit of balance, and then they obviously need a lot more cards, but I don't think that's urgent. And they said in the article, I think they don't anticipate any more wipes after this, right?
Right. No, this is all they're anticipating right now. So.
That's what made me think maybe they're going into open beta, because it seems like going from closed to open beta, they'd want to do a wipe anyway. But I could be wrong.
Well, again, the wipe is so that way they can update and balance some cards and upgrade to their hardware and stuff like that. So I don't think they're just trying to give everybody a clean slate and then open it up to the masses. So I don't know. You know what? Anything can happen. Heck, you know what? I'll ask him this week. I'm going to be talking to him. So why the heck not, right? So here's the thing. I'm not going to be able to say, oh, I hope I get better cards. That's just not an option for me. It doesn't matter. They could dump legendaries in my hand, every legendary in the whole game, and I'm still gonna screw it up. So whatever. I just hope it works. I hope it works, because here's the thing. I look at the state of World of Warcraft. I look at the state of Diablo, the state of StarCraft, and everything like that. They all have their ups and downs. When Diablo 3 launched, how'd the community react to that, Archon? Yeah, exactly.
Not good.
Exactly.
It was I guess it was a couple months afterwards that the community's like, wait a minute.
Hey, now you
this
guys.
isn't what we thought we were getting.
Well, I just don't want this game to get a black eye, and the community's already getting a little torqued because of the lack of beta invites. Well, and that's kind of a funny thing, because I remember when they announced this to PAX East, everybody's like, "What's this crap? I want Titan. I can't believe this garbage. Blah blah blah. Now they're kicking puppies and stealing from the neighbor's house to try and get a beta key. But anyways, whatever. I just don't want this game to get a black eye. You know what I mean? It's too good, and there's a lot of positive things going on with it. I hope when they do this wipe and everything goes through, I hope it's successful. I think it will be. I have high hopes for this game. Everything looks great so far. Let's just keep it going, Blizz. Please, for the love of God, please. Okay, thank you.
I just hope they turn it into an esport. I really want a spectator mode.
Oh, dude, you know that's going to happen. You know it's going. Actually, that's been discussed. If you look at the opening layout of the board, there is play, practice, arena, and then there's a fourth blank spot on that board at the very beginning. And a lot of people some people think it's a spectator mode. Some people, they don't know what it is. I don't know. There was an article about it on hearthstone.blizzpro.com. And I don't know if there was any definite conclusions made other than the fact that maybe the developer said they have plans for that box, but I'm hoping it's a spectator mode. I think that would be pretty sweet. But you know what? At the same time, so many people have so much fun streaming this game and hanging out with the chat room and stuff. So to put a spectator mode in there, you know what? Blizzard, push the streamers, man. Push the people who are doing this to get their names in the community and help and be with the community and stuff like that. I think a spectator mode in this game would be a bad thing because too many people like to stream this stuff and interact with everybody. So.
I would love to use a spectator mode on the stream to pick two random viewers, have them go head to head, and then kind of cast the game as it's going on.
That's actually pretty good. Yep.
Ah. Well,
just put you down, Twizz. Arguments inbound.
But you know what? I doubt you're going to be able to put two people together. I doubt you're going to pick two people. I would imagine spectator mode, you're probably going to get dumped into two random people's matches.
That's so... Just creeping on people. Hey,
I know.
Hey guys.
Don't mind me.
Take to have a third person, greetings at the spectator.
All you can do is just emote as you're sitting over on the side.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I will crush you.
Or actually, there's this. They put this little fence where these eyes and this little hat just peeks up over the top of the fence and then back down.
It's Wilson.
Yeah,
Wilson.
That's exactly it. Yeah, from Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Yeah. So,
anyways, that's a pretty good idea though. Kind of stream in that way. That'd be cool.
I agree.
Oh, thanks. On StarCraft, you can choose to spectate your friends' matches. So hopefully they do it the same way.
Can you really?
Cool.
Yeah, that's how my brother's been teaching me how to play StarCraft. He just spectates and tells me when I'm being dumb, which is constantly, by the way.
I did not know that. Did not know.
Yeah.
Interesting. What you learned?
In StarCraft, you can even watch a replay halfway through, pause it, and then you and your friend can start playing as the people in the replay.
Wow.
What kind of voodoo is this?
Way more in depth than I thought it could.
Yeah.
I don't know where to look right now.
It seems like if they want to make Hearthstone an esport, they got to do a spectator mode because you need casters, you need content, and without spectator mode, it's really hard to make content other than your own matches.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what you learn when you're not drinking. That's the main thing. So, there was a plethora of name that movie. Who can name that movie?
What is a plethora? Three amigos?
Yep, that's right.
Those Three Amigos.
Would you say I had the plethora? I have. There's actually a plethora of Diablo 3 articles that got dropped on BlizzPro.com. 9ball absolutely tore it up this week. Archon, what happened with those? What's going on with those articles, man?
So many things. All the things. Let's see. Wyatt Chang made one of my favorite blue posts to date. I loved it. And maybe I'm the weird one. It looks like Wyatt Chang is hinting at getting rid of lifesteal. Even though I control F'd his blue post, and not once does he say the word lifesteal. But I think it's on purpose. What he actually talks about in the post is combat balancing, and this is something I've been hoping they'd fix for a while, is right now, almost every build uses lifesteal. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, everyone's using lifesteal. And then you only put enough defense on so you're not getting one shot.
Right.
Because your life's going to shoot back up to full immediately anyway. And that lets you put all your stats into offensive so you can do a lot more damage. It's just the most efficient way to play right now. It doesn't really make sense to play any other way if you have the gear to do it. Yep. And so it's become very static. And most of the builds are run into a bunch of enemies and spam your buttons, because you're actually safest when you're in a bunch of enemies. And so he was just talking about that problem and talking about how we can't be so dependent on, well, he didn't even say lifesteal. How does he word it? He's very tricky, because at the end he says that he doesn't have any, let's see, I'm saying all of this without pointing out a specific solution. That's because there are no instant fixed solutions. It's a challenging problem that we're actively working on. Things aren't going to be perfect overnight, but improving the pacing of combat is something we're constantly working on. Then he asks for the community's opinion on it. My guess is they're leaning towards getting rid of lifesteal, but they kind of want to gauge the community's feeling before they drop the bomb.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean, the community's adapted to playing this certain way. You know, and you go changing something like that. And again, I think it's all for tactical. Like they want, I mean, I don't want to just restate everything you just said, but yeah, it's like go in and kill faster than they can kill you, and that's the name of the game. And they don't want it. I mean, it sounds like that's not how they want it. They want it to be strategic, and you have to play it out a little bit more and stuff like that. But man, what a fine line to walk down if you're gonna gank something like that, man.
Yeah, most players are definitely upset about the idea of losing lifesteal, even though it hasn't been said by the devs yet. It's kind of circulating around. But I think most players kind of look at removing lifesteal as if it was going to be the same state that the game's in right now. They just picture their current character without lifesteal, because a lot of the arguments is like, well, how am I going to stay alive without lifesteal? Like, I need lifesteal to live. What about melee characters? And really, they're going to be making these changes along with a bunch of other changes. Like, they'll balance the game as if there was no lifesteal if they decide to remove it. So I don't think there's much to worry about. I think it'd be really good for the game. I mean, I know some people like...
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I would say that it's definitely going to add more like strategy, and you have to think before you enter and encounter a mob and actually engage them. You have to think about who you're going to blind, when you're going to heal, if you're going to use potions, if at all. And it's really going to make it more intrinsic rather than I'm going to run into a bunch of enemies and just spam. Which is like when I watch your stream, Marcon, it's like, let me just grab everybody on this map and just go at it. And it's like, wow, how did he not die? And it's the lifesteal.
Yeah.
This
oh, go ahead.
This kind of reminds me of what it's similar to Warcraft in how I take it as what tanks were in Wrath of the Lich King, if people remember, where they would just stack stamina, so they would just get hit as hard as they could, and you just heal them up. And the way they changed it around now is they want that steady increments of damage, similar to what they're doing here. So you'll be like at 50%, like they state, and like, oh, I'm kind of in trouble, rather than just like ping-ponging your health bar, you're kind of going back forth a little bit.
Wait a second. Are you telling me I'm not supposed to stack stam gems?
Oh, man.
Not for a couple of years. That's how I kind of related to it. Isn't that kind of what they're saying a little bit? It's more they want the steady damage rather than back and forth like that?
No, definitely. There needs to be some reward for dodging an attack.
Yeah.
For example. And there should be some... It should be dynamic when you're fighting. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you're getting overwhelmed. You have to find a way out. Sometimes you're taking too much damage. You got to run out. Sometimes you can take the hit, and sometimes you have to dodge. Like, I think it opens up for a lot more enjoyable gameplay if you get rid of lifesteal. And right now, it's just mindless button spamming for most builds, and it's probably the biggest reason why I feel like, and probably a lot of D3 players feel like, we're just playing Diablo in the background. I think a lot of people are watching movies and talking to friends, and you really don't have to focus like any brain activity onto the game right now. And so I'm really hoping to get rid of lifesteal. I think that'd be the easiest way to change up the current state of the game.
Wow. You know what? I need to experience this. We need to get together, dude. I need you to power level me. Would you be willing to power level me at some point?
No, totally. Yeah, come on by. We're actually doing a charity event. I was going to tell you about it next week, but like a week from Sunday, where we'll be power leveling people who donate to charity to try to raise some money.
Well, that's all I need to do then.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm paying you to level me.
You're paying Extra Life.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I was trying to make you sound like you.
Yeah, I get a lot of that on the channel. They're like, wait, I have to pay you for you to do something? It's like, no,
you're donating.
You're children.
People don't
Yeah,
get it.
feel better about yourself, dang it. Come on.
Tax write-off.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So you greedy corporate type can benefit as well.
Oh man, but yeah, I want to I want to experience that. So yeah, we're gonna have to get together. I'm gonna have to make a nice, awesome, sweet donation to Extra Life, and we got to do that because right now my tunes are pathetic, dude.
Yeah,
so is my Hearthstone. Why do I even play this? Why do I even play Geek games? I'm not good at any of it. I suck at Hearthstone, Diablo. You're like, oh, it's so repetitive, and you just don't die or whatever, and it's like, dude. I've lost half my gold in repairs.
I was dying a lot today. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and I was dying every 10 minutes today. I just was not in it. It happens.
Oh,
yeah,
I
guess we had a lot of Diablo news.
Sorry.
Maybe we should,
the chat room, Intrepid said, I'll power level Twiz tonight. Boom. Goes the dynamite.
Boom. Yeah, Intrepid's a good friend of mine. Yeah, good guy there.
You know what? And I'm seeing a lot, and I don't mean to sidetrack or anything. I'm seeing a lot of people from your stream, dude. I'm really glad that you guys are in the chat room. I'm glad everybody's in the chat room. We're bouncing around between 78 and 80 some people. So I'm really happy to see you guys. Like Tax E, I've seen in your chat room. There's another person in here I've seen, so that's awesome. Yep, we love
nice to come out on a Friday night.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, somebody in the chat room earlier said, "Can we just make Friday night your show because that way my whole guild can watch this too." Oh, I wish I had Friday nights free, guys. So anyway, sorry. Lots of news on Paragon 2.0.
Yes, we get a lot of news. I guess leaked slowly over time. A little bit of new stuff, mostly just clarification, but we're seeing more and more how Paragon's going to work. And Nineball made a really nice observation on this. But the point that he was making is, so in Paragon 2.0, instead of getting set points like you do now, right now every level you get 3 of your main attribute, 2 Vit, and then 1 of each of the others, as well as 3% to Magic Find and Gold Find. Mm-hmm. But in 2.0, each level you'll get 1 point, and you kind of get to choose amongst a handful of stats. So, like at level 1, you get a point in core stat, level 2 is a point in offensive, 3 defensive, and 4 is utility. And it's all subject to change, of course. But that's what they're thinking right now. And the way they have it set up right now is you're going to get a lot less points than you do in Paragon 1.0. So you'll be able to customize your character and really put the points where you want to, but you're not getting nearly as much benefit from leveling Paragon.
Okay.
And so Nineball was kind of worried that maybe we wouldn't have enough stats, that we're just going to be kind of nerfed. But I think it's another case of kind of looking at it in isolation, because I think we got to keep in mind Paragon 2.0 is being designed with all these other features, and so I imagine they're going to be balancing the game as if Paragon 2.0 was already in there.
And also,
of course,
there's no limit to the Paragon level that you can achieve, correct?
Correct.
So right. You just push yourself until you get to the point that you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think ultimately you could get more points than you can currently get, because right now you can only get to Paragon 100. It'll just take a bit longer to get there. And 3 of the categories you can only put 200 points into, and then after that, all your points have to go into core stats. Those can go up forever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's I'm gonna have to sit and let that digest for a little while. I'm gonna have to sit on that one. And
you need some enzyme pills.
Yeah,
it's
like when you just get done with Taco Bell and you're like, I'm gonna have to let this sit for a few before I decide what the next move is. So
been there.
No, but I think the controlling where we put the Paragon points is this interesting phenomena I've been observing with these Reaper of Soul changes. On one side, they're giving us a lot more customization, like a lot more opportunities to actually customize our character. Looks like there's going to be a lot of different builds, unlike currently. But on the other side, they're really controlling how many points we can put into certain stats. They're not letting us do what we can do right now and put like 90% attack speed onto our gear or 60% crit chance, because they just earlier yesterday, I think, Diablo fans data mined some more information that it looks like they're planning on putting stat caps.
Okay.
Like, so you can only get up to 40% crit, and you can only get up to 250% crit damage. And of course, that's just data mine information, so it'll probably change a lot. But I think it's promising. I think it's promising that they're really controlling the range at which players can increase their stats, because that means they'll really be able to balance builds without having to worry about players exploiting certain advantages.
It's going to feel more personalized.
Yeah. Yeah, like World of Warcraft. You have a lot less variety between characters, and therefore it's much tighter, and it's much easier to make balanced builds.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's probably going to be different strategies behind the different builds as well. Like, you could go heavy on this stat for this type of performance, or you could go heavy on this type of stat, and there's, it just depends on where you want to, or there's a very balanced, equal type of a build. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, it seems like they're, especially the legendary affixes, they're really like creating new builds. One of the ones that was recently data mined was you do 1,000% of your life per second to all enemies within 20 yards, but your life per second no longer heals you.
Oh, nice trade-off.
So it's creating like a whole new build off this one legendary. So now you can go and gear up with a bunch of life per second, and now you're doing a ton of damage to everyone around
you. Dude, that's awesome. Cool. That's awesome. Yes, you're power leveling me.
Yeah, no, Reaper of Souls is going to be sick. I really think it's going to bring the game back, and Diablo 3 is going to be in the spotlight once again.
Awesome. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. However, we talked a little bit about last week about the good news where the heavens opened, and a lot of the Diablo 3 community sang the praises of Josh Mascara and the team. But there was a Devil's Advocate article that I'm hoping you got a chance to look at, where and again, this was just a 9ball put this together just to play Devil's Advocate, just to say, hey, you know what? Maybe removing the auction house ain't such a hot idea.
Why you take my auction house? Why?
That's a pretty good summary of the anti-auction house removal comments on the internet there. Why you take my auction house?
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think anyone who's put a lot of thought into it has some concerns. I would say that if Blizzard just removed the auction house and they didn't do anything else, I would be disappointed. But I have faith in Blizzard. I think Wyatt Chang and Travis Day and Josh Mascara know what they're doing, and I think they're just going to design the game as if it didn't have an auction house. But 9ball makes some really good points. Trading, is it going to make sense to sit on third-party sites all day long and just trying to trade for that one item you need for the new build? Are we going to sit on the third-party sites all day long instead of sitting on the auction house all day long? And that's definitely something I'm worried about. And if they make it so it's easy enough to get the legendaries that you don't have to sit on third-party sites, then are we just going to be getting legendaries constantly and suddenly they're worth nothing? So I think they have to do something to incentivize the items yourself instead of trading for them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going, because I have something after this that I want to say, but I'm afraid I don't want to jump in too early.
So you mean like an incentive, like once you pick it up, it's like bind on you, and you can't give it away, or that you get better, say, stats for gemming because you found it?
Yeah, those are both good ideas. Making it so the best gear is bound to you is probably the easiest fix, but a lot of players don't like that because they like being able to trade good gear. And I like the idea that you can only enchant items that you found yourself. It would give you an advantage. But a lot of people really like the trading game, and so they get mad when you talk about soulbound things. I was also thinking maybe a good solution would be to make it so that items are only soulbound to you on the ladder. Because if you're trying to seriously compete against other players and you care a lot about having that advantage, you're probably playing ladder anyway, and then it can be more focused on your achievement and not how well you trade on third-party sites. And then in the regular game, allow people to trade items, and so some people might have an advantage if they really want to spend a lot of time trading or spending real money on third-party sites, but it's not as competitive as the ladder, so just kind of separate it in that way.
I would back that. That sounds like a good idea. I like. Man, I'm
Are you still on the fence about this?
I'm still in the Taco Bell syndrome right now.
I don't know. What do you think about his? What do you think about his argument of like consumables? How do you think crafting is going to be like affected without an auction house? What are you going to do with all those mats? And is it going to be worth crafting? Is it just going to ruin that aspect of the game?
Gonna sell them.
Yeah. What are you going to sell? Trade chat.
I don't think there's too much to worry about.
Is that mostly bind on stuff, whatever?
Like right now, demonic essences are the most valuable crafting material, and they're bind on pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't trade them, so you have to farm for them. And I imagine they'll keep doing that. So for the good things, you'll actually have to go out and farm the mats you need, and then I think it's all right if the other mats aren't worth that much. If you get plenty of them to craft what you need to, and they're just, as long as you're picking up as you go, you don't have to worry about those smaller mats. I mean, yeah, I see it as kind of a non-issue, just because the most valuable mats could bind to you anyways.
Let me ask you this, Archon, and I'm kind of sitting here taking all this in and thinking about the future and everything. What's this going to do for streamers like you? Because,
we won't be able to do set building in the morning because we don't have an auction house.
Yeah, you explained earlier how you get 150 bajillion gold and you build a set for somebody and whatever, and all through donations and stuff like that. Like, this is gonna hurt, man.
Yeah, but it'll also help because
you have my attention.
Yeah. Okay. So, no auction house means players have to resort to trading, most likely, depending on how they do it. But trading would be very easy on streams. So I was thinking, instead of building a set each morning we could have like a little market where throughout the day,
farmers market.
Yes,
Diablo. I love it.
Farmers market. That's a great name for it too. I'm gonna steal that. But just let people, like, any time of the day. Right now, actually, people can just type !help in my chat, and it will show people who will accept donations and give them coins, our channel currency. And so I'm thinking we just keep doing that. So if you're out farming and you get some good legendaries, you come to the channel, you turn them in, you get some coins, and then every morning we have the market with all the items that have been donated, and then we start auctioning them off for coins.
Sure.
So then you can, kind of like a little auction house on our channel, just within our community. So I think in some ways it'll be bad for streamers, but in some ways it'll be good for streamers too.
I think that's awesome. I think it's a great plan. It's a great plan.
Yeah.
I'm glad I came up with it.
Good job, Twiz.
Cool. Well, you know what? Not to I didn't mean to stray so far off topic, but you know what? Nineball did put together the article why I don't yet like the removal of the AH, and right now it's got like 38 or 39 comments or something crazy like that. So make sure you head over to blizzpro.com and check that article out. He does make a lot of valid points. There are things people don't want to hear, but he's like, hey, you know what? There's going to be shortages of supplies and shortages of this, and think about how convenient the auction house made everything, and stuff like that. So. It's a little bit all over the board, so it's food for thought. We're doing a lot of devil's advocate stuff tonight, and we're that was just the tip of the iceberg. So,
yeah, definitely worth reading. A really good article.
Absolutely. The next article is a Warcraft movie short list. Okay, the first two, obviously this gets into the they're starting to try and set a cast for the World of Warcraft movie. The first two on the list is Paula Patton from Mission Impossible, Ghost, Protocol, and Two Guns. I have no idea who that is. She was in Ghost? Was she like Patrick Swayze's girlfriend?
Not Ghost.
Ghost Protocol. It looks weird. It looks weird on my tablet. Okay. That's why I didn't understand. I never watched.
Making clay pots, I bet, weren't you, Twiz?
Yeah.
She's beautiful, but she doesn't look Warcraft.
I totally disagree, Reb. Really?
What? In what world are you living where this glamorous, beautiful woman is Warcraft?
That's what I think. Like, she has such stunning features. Like, you put like that makeup or even like CGI stuff on her. Like, for example, like Avatar was doing, it would really kind of stick out if she played maybe like a lady orc or something like that. I think it would be kind of cool, actually.
The only thing that I could see her doing is maybe like Draenei, maybe Night Elf. Like, I would say Draenei because she has the full figure about her, and not that Night Elves don't, but I don't see her being Warcraft and down and dirty, and I don't know. I don't know.
They're probably not going to have Draenei though, right? Isn't it like old school Warcraft era?
Yeah, pretty much Dark Portal sort of thing.
Yeah,
High Elf, Night Elf sort of thing, I bet. So
yeah, it's going to be it's going to take place around the Warcraft RTS series. So that means that there's going to be characters like Khadgar and Medivh and Lothar and stuff like that.
Rumored. It's going to be
rumored,
yeah.
theoretical, hypothesis. Yeah, so
yeah.
Which did you list the second person that they're
the second person they're looking at, the actor? He was in Phone Booth, Total Recall, and Alexander. It is Colin Farrell. Is the second person that...
I could see this.
He's got a 50-50 chance at striking the deal. So most people seem to believe that he might play a role as a Varian Rin. However, I'd like to remind people that, again, this is rumored. So, Phone Booth.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of him? I've seen 50-50.
He could be Medivh. I think he could be Medivh. Like, I don't see him as Khadgar. I could see him as Lothar, even Varian, but Medivh, that's where it's at. It's like kind of sinister, kind of mysterious, bad boy. I need a moment to myself.
I think instead of Colin Farrell, I'd rather see Will Ferrell.
Now, there's something I can get behind.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I thought I liked Colin Farrell in Phone Booth. You know, just I think it's a long time ago, but he did a good job. It gives you a really good taste of what he's capable of. I keep thinking of that guy. What's his name? Forrest Whitaker. Get out of the booth.
I like Phone Booth too. It's really short. No, I think it's a. You know, right away when you see it, you're like, oh my god, what's he going to play? But, you know, like you said, give him a chance. I really think people can make roles, you know what I mean, if they put into it at the right time. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens.
I still think Christian Nairn should be in this movie, just saying.
Agreed.
Get Torin. I like it.
For the win.
Yeah.
Love Torin.
Does anyone else feel like it'd be kind of surreal to watch Colin Farrell in a World of Warcraft movie?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's surreal to see these high-profile actors in a movie where it's like, you know, honestly, it's a franchise that can stand on its own, and they could cast unknowns, and it would still be phenomenal.
Yeah, this would be a great way for an unknown person to get his name blasted out there.
Yeah.
Well, there's some other actors. Who are they, Twiz, that got mentioned kind of around the rumor mill? Who do we got?
There was Paul. Is it Paul Dano from Looper, Cowboys and Aliens? Travis Fimmel from the Vikings TV series, Anson Mount, the Hell on Wheels TV series, and Anton Yelkin, which is
Chekhov.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Thanks, Archon. From the new Star Trek movies. So so far, only one of these actors are said to have a leading role, and that would be Colin Farrell if he decides to get out of the booth and accept the deal. So
Nice.
Get out of the booth.
Get out of the booth. Don't you hang up on me. All right. So, anyways, I think they should get Forrest Whitaker in there too. Why not? You know what? Heck with it. So.
Yep. I like it.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'll be anxious to see. So check out BlizzPro.com for the you know, all the good news in that. So as always, we promised you guys. Now I got a lot of good responses from doing the Hearthstone burn deck last week, and the burn deck was basically where you set up your cards so that way you went straight for the throat and you burn down your opponent as fast as possible. And we gave you like 6 or 7 cards that would be really good for that type of a deck. And this week we are going to continue with that CCG 101, and the article for this is on BlizzPro.com. It'll be in the show notes and everything. We've got the new strategy deck, and again, we're going to give you some of the ideas on the turtle deck and what some of the cards look like that can make that up. So for those of you at home who are not watching the live stream, we're going to try and make this as non-confusing, but for those of you who are watching the video, I'm going to throw some cards up here. And also I'm going to have this overlay that you guys are going to see in the chat room in the show notes. So, Here are the cards that we're going to discuss. We got the Voodoo Doctor, the Senjin Shieldmaster, the Mana Wraith, the Mogashan Warden, the Goldshire Footman, and the Earthen Ring Farseer. So let's go ahead and start breaking down these cards.
Yeah. So Voodoo Doctor, 1-cost minion, has a rating of 2/1, 2 attack, 1 health, and he heals 2 health to a minion or a hero. I think it's especially nice when you can heal a minion. It's low-cost mana. It's easy to use, especially when you're healing a tankier mid-game minion like the Senjin Shieldmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Really versatile card.
Mm-hmm. Let me interrupt you for a sec, Archon. I think you have to do it in the troll accent next time. In the Senjin Shieldmaster. But not my impression.
Bingo!
There you go. That was nice. I'm going to let you take that.
Oh, man.
Anytime we need the troll accent there, Reb's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Senjin Shieldmaster.
Voodoo. Sorry.
Getting carried away here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but Senjin Shieldmaster, also a really good card for Turtle Deck. Considered one of the strongest mid-game cards available, Senjin Shieldmaster has 3 attack, 5 health, and costs 4 mana. Makes him one of the most durable minions in the game. His taunt ability will absolutely cripple low-cost aggressive minions such as Leper Gnome and Fairy Dragons. Really nice to get him out on round 4 or even sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, not my fairy dragons.
Yep. You look at somebody who has not only a taunt but a 5 health points. Dude, especially if you have other cards that can buff, give you +1 or +2, or something like that. That guy is just gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next card we got here is a really annoying card that I just don't like at all. It's called the Mana Wraith. Now, if you're really looking to slow down the pace of the match and wait for the timer like Archon does every time, you want to drop this. What it does, the minion's passive ability, it'll make all minions on the board cost 1 more mana. So pretty much it just sucks, all right? It's pretty much to slow everybody down. So those brutal spells, like if you're going to lay out, your 7 mana person, or it just slows it down where you're going to have to wait 1 more turn. Yep, it's pretty horrible.
Yep, makes me want to end my life.
It's nice if you don't have any minions, or if you don't have many minions yourself.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
Well, guys, let me tell you about my 2 favorite cards in this turtle deck type cards. The first one would be the Mogashan Warden, which I thought it was pretty cool that, they have Pandaria mobs, displayed in Hearthstone. I didn't think they were going to have that for some reason. But anyways, can I just say that this guy can be super annoying because he is 1/7, and he's also taunt, which means he's going to require a lot to bring him down. God forbid you actually buff him. Oh God, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
But anyways, with that 7 health, he's going to be completely brutal and fragile. All of your early game minions of the opponent. Next would be the Goldshire Footman. Now, minions when taunt are an essential aspect of a deck designed to turtle, and Goldshire Footman can help you get the game off on the right foot. Its 2 durability will protect it from creatures like the Elven Archer and the Stone Tusk Boar, basically those ones that have the little 1 damage that comes out when they're summoned.
Yeah, yeah,
and
the
it's,
charge.
Yeah, and its 1 attack will at least allow it to do some damage if left unattended. Now, Paladins in specific can make good use of this minion in combination with a cheap buff such as Blessing of Might to quickly ramp it up to being a moderate threat. So, yeah, it's looking pretty BA.
Agreed. That's one of the cards I don't have yet. I still don't have that guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
I do rock him with the Paladin deck. I love it.
Oh, do you?
I forget what he says. I was gonna yell it, but I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
And this Earthen Ring Farseer is one that I also don't have. That might be why I suck so bad, is I don't have 3/4 of these cards.
I think so.
So I don't know. The Earthen Ring Farseer is a 3 of 3 4/3, and it heals for 3. Lots of 3s going on there with that card. Earthen Ring Farseer is one of the strongest mid-game cards available, producing both a sizable heal and a creature with a reasonable body. Play it to the top, to top yourself or a minion off at a critical moment when your opponent has spent a lot of resources on hurting you. So it's kind of really a good bounce back card. So So there you have it, guys. Those are the cards that we recommend for a turtle deck. They're the ones that are just going to sit there and drag the game on and try and get you to outlast your opponent and just starve them. So if you guys are trying any of these decks, feel free to write in and let us know if they're working for you. Also, the Hearth Pro, Blizzard's Hearth Pro show, the official Hearthstone podcast of Blizz Pro, is all this stuff, all these strategies come from Zen Style. He's going to be on the show next week. So make sure you guys are listening to those guys. They give amazing strategies and just it's different tiers. Zen Style is very, very in-depth and technical. Mark and Eva share they're equals. They share the average player and the little bit more advanced player at the same time. They really feed off each other well. So I'm very, very happy with that podcast. It's one of my favorites. So let's see here. The last article that I wanted to talk about, actually, it's being finished right now. I kind of jumped the gun, but Heroes of the Storm was trademarked in New Zealand. What in the world could this possibly be? What do you guys think?
Let me just squash all the rumors because I know what Heroes of the Storm is.
Ooh.
It's obviously a cosplay event. Duh.
Oh no!
I'm thinking it's gonna be like a laser tag arena. The Storm. I like it.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Actually, you have like swords and stuff, maybe.
there was a minor discussion about it, and Eldorian, the founder of BlizzPro, he was like, "What do you guys think this could be?" And I was like, "You know what? It sounds like a book title to me."
Yeah, it does.
And he's like, "Blizzard doesn't trademark book titles," and I'm like, "F you."
Did he do it with that snotty attitude too?
Yeah. I'm like, I still think it's a book title, so F you, dude. So
it does sound like a book. It does.
It really does.
It
really
kind of
does.
sounds like something that would have been trademarked during Cataclysm, but who am I to judge?
All right, well, let's go through the list. It's obviously not Diablo, not StarCraft.
I think it could be StarCraft.
Don't we have
I think
next
it
thing
could
coming
be
out for that?
I think it could be StarCraft related.
StarCraft laser tag arena.
StarCraft laser tag arena, a book about it all.
Okay. Then Warcraft, it could possibly be that, but that doesn't sound very cool for an expansion.
Heroes.
And
You're an Azerothian hero. I think it's Warcraft related.
No, you don't. You're just lying.
Heroes of the Storm.
Maybe, but I think Eldorian got to in his post, and I actually agree with him. I think they're kind of rebranding or renaming their Blizzard All-Stars, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Possible, because they're heroes you're actually playing.
Yeah.
So,
Like
I
a
think it could be.
champion.
But what is the storm? Mr. Answer.
I didn't
find out.
Far ahead, Twiz. I don't know why you gotta
It's a
call
book.
me out like that.
It's a book.
It's a book. Okay, you're sticking with a book.
Final answer.
It's a book based on a laser tag arena based on a game.
That's right. That used to be Blizzard All-Stars. You heard it here on TwizzCast.
I don't see a book, but you know what else I see it? Maybe a restaurant, Twiz. What do you think about that? Now, hear me out. A Blizzard restaurant, and you feel like a hero when you step in, and you like get handed like a plate and a sword. Wouldn't that be cool? Yes, no, maybe?
You know what? The more I think about it, there are some pros. There's some pros and cons to that idea. But actually, I don't know. Truthfully, I can think of a few Blizzard-themed restaurants that would probably be a total flop. That's right. Off we go. The top 10 Blizzard-themed restaurants that would probably flop. Ringing in at number 10, Proving Grounds Coffee. The best part of waking up is tanking with a cup.
Number 9, Lich King's Ice Cream Citadel. The cherry on top of the building makes it look a little less ominous.
Number 8, Random Heroics. Every table seats 5, but you always have to wait for the 5th person to show up.
So true. Number 7, Diablos. Everything's hot, but they don't accept cash anymore.
Number 6, Hearthstone Creamery. It's absolutely awesome if you can get in.
Ooh. Number 5, The Swarm. give it a week before it's shut down because of health code violations. Ugh.
All right, number 4, Illidan's. Be careful with the chicken and pork. It's probably not prepared.
Number 3, Sylvana's fruit stand for the gourd.
Nice. Number 2, IHOP, also known as the International House of Paladins. Your food will sit under holy heat lamps for hours.
And the number 1 Blizzard-themed restaurant that would probably flop, Looking for Raid. You wait an hour and a half to get in, and then you immediately want to leave.
I am Varen.
I am Admiral Thrawn.
My name is Kravix.
My name is Ramen.
My name is Stormrazor.
My name is Paladin.
My name is Spedem Frost.
My name is Quinley.
My name is Umberlatro. I play Survival Hunter.
Night Elf Warrior.
I play a Pandaren Monk.
I am a Draenei Priest.
Frost Death Knight.
I play a Holy Paladin.
Frost Mage.
I play a Survival Hunter.
Arcane Mage.
I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Nova Scotia, Canada.
Corey, Pennsylvania.
From Bellingham, Washington.
Wajak, Michigan.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Roy, Utah.
Bellingham, Washington.
Brooklyn, New York.
I am in Twisted Dynasty.
And I'm in Twisted Empire.
I'm in Twisted Empire.
The Dynasty.
Twisted Empire.
Twisted Empire.
And I'm in Twisted Dynasty.
Twisted Empire.
And I am in Twisted Dynasty.
Hello everyone, my name is Twiz, and I am the Guildmaster of Twisted Empire. Over the past year, we have continued to grow at an amazing rate. The Guild has appealed to people trying to find a new home because the one that they used to be in has either fallen apart or isn't what it used to be. If this sounds like you, the answer isn't to quit WoW and always look back on it with fond memories. World of Warcraft isn't going away anytime soon, so why should you? Twisted Empire has rekindled the love for WoW to hundreds of people, and it can do the same thing for you. We currently have raid teams, transmog runs, achievement runs, helpful leveling, and some of the most exciting people that you're going to ever talk to in-game. Up until recently, we've always been Horde, but now, on the same server, we've introduced our Alliance counterpart, Twisted Dynasty. It just broke ground, and it's already taking off. So I guess my message is this. Don't feel left out anymore, or let someone else bring down your game. Twisted Empire and Twisted Dynasty on Coltiris US. Welcome home. My name is Twiz. I play a Brewmaster Monk. I'm from Peru, Illinois, and I hope to see you in Twisted Dynasty or Twisted Empire.
Been sitting here copying the mail at the home 20.
Okay, let's dive into the emails now. Guys, I really want you to stick around for this because this is killer. It truly is. We got kind of overload on emails, but they're good stuff. I mean, seriously, they're good stuff. So let's just jump right into the very first email that we've got. This is where we're going to be playing a little bit more devil's advocate in this section, but some awesome stuff going on. Archon, why don't you hit up the first one, brother?
Yeah, looks like our first one's from Get Smurf, who I believe is Smurfed Gaming in Twitch chat right now, hanging out with us.
Yes, sir.
And he said, "Hello, Twiz, Hoda, Archon, Reb. So I tuned in the first time on the 19th of September and absolutely loved the atmosphere. I even win myself a copy of D3 thanks to Archon's 6 cents. You're welcome. I'm a veteran WoW player. Played vanilla through to BC and quit due to my friends not playing anymore and feeling alone. Aww. I joined back at the end of Kata, but then just before MOP hit, and I was alone again. For most of MOP, I was jumping from guild to guild because most were filled with young kids that just complained all day, or people that thought they were the best in the game. Doesn't sound like WoW to me.
I know, right? Bum, bum, ba, bum.
I just didn't feel at home. So 5.4 hits, and I'm browsing a stream like I do every night after work, and I see TwizzCast and become curious. I joined in maybe halfway through the stream and felt at peace. I heard Twiz speaking about Empire and Dynasty and thought myself, wow, this is something I could definitely become a part of and join this amazing family atmosphere in a game I love. As I transfer my main Arrow, I believe it's pronounced, over to the server, I wasn't even in the guild yet, and everyone was already helping me out and welcoming me to the family. Big thanks to Hone and Sakor. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Cool.
I'm mispronouncing everyone's names.
It's
Any more names I can butcher?
Sucker.
Honey and Sucker.
Yeah, Honeysucker. For the initial help. Well, to get to the point of this long story, Twisted Empire is a new home for all, and I'm proof. I absolutely love what you have put together, Twiz, and I am absolutely grateful. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all of you for all you do. little tongue twister there. That was an awesome email, though. I thought that was really cool. It was his first time to the show yesterday.
Yeah.
It happened by.
Yep, just happened by, and the Sixth Sense kicked in, and, you know, I
Destiny,
say that
bro.
I say it all the
Destiny.
time. I try not to sound like a used car salesman on this show, but you know what? I mean, the guild itself, Twisted Empire, Twisted Dynasty. Twisted Dynasty is our newest edition, which is our Alliance Guild. It's taken off. As Archon mentioned, Honey is the guild master. Sucker is one of the officers, and they do amazing things. Just you want to talk about like just genuinely good people, just people who are like, you know what? You're new here, and I want to get to know you. I want to be your friend. And with a lot of guilds, it's like as soon as you join the guild, they slap you with rules, and then they ignore you. And because, you know, everybody else knows everybody else in that guild or whatever, and you got to try and jump into a conversation that you don't know anything about, and it's a coin toss whether or not they're even going to look at you or respond to you or anything because they don't know who you are. And that's just not how we roll. It's not how Twisted Dynasty rolls. It's not how TE is. I mean, it's unbelievable. So again, I don't try and sit here and sound like a used car salesman and tell you it's the greatest thing ever, but you know, almost 2,000 teams can't be wrong. So I'm just gonna say that. So, anyways, dude, Arrow, welcome to the guild, man. I'm glad you found the stream. I'm glad you're rocking Diablo 3, and I'm glad that I get to see you in the green chat, brother. So, he is at GetSmurf on Twitter too, by the way. So. We did get a little bit of kind of a guessing about the next WoW expansion. We talked about this last episode with, you know, the fact that Blizzard's already stated that this is the last patch for this expansion. But we don't know what the next expansion is. Usually we already know what that next expansion is, so we can say, hey, you know, this is the last one and it's going to hang out. So we talked about maybe is it closer around the corner than we thought. What's it going to be about? What's happening? Well, Galdrea, a.k.a. Liz, from TE, wrote in with a little bit of speculation. So you want to hit that up, Reb?
Yes. Sure, it said, hello, Reb, Twiz, Hoda, and Archon. I was listening to the latest episode of TwizzCast, and I was intrigued with your speculation of when Blizzard would announce the next expansion. I started thinking about the timing of all Blizzard's announcements that are coming up and might be coming up. Coming very soon is Sony Online Entertainment's EverQuest Next Beta. They already have released several videos showing concept art and gameplay examples. This game looks very sexy. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I started my MMO affair with the original EverQuest. Many WoW players also started with the EverQuest as well. I have been wondering how many WoW players will try to get into the EQ Next beta and possibly leave WoW. Because of SOE's timing of their beta, how will Blizzard respond? I don't think an expansion that focuses on lore that's outdated or buried by current lore focus would be a smart move on Blizzard's part. The first thing that comes to my mind for the next expansion would be a story that focuses on Sylvanas' redemption instead of defeat. Think about it. The players help Sylvanas defeat her inner demons, silence the quiet whispers that fill her head from one of the old gods, perhaps. You could even include a chapter where the player also has to pull Jaina back from the brink. A story of redemption would blow anything SOE came up with out of the water. I'm sorry for the long email, but I was wondering what y'all think. Keep up the great work, Galdrea. That is an awesome email, and I honestly had never even thought about lore time. I've never even thought about maybe Sylvanas and trying to get those quiet whispers out of her head. I think that would be so cool because Sylvanas is actually one of my favorite characters, and Galdrea, I had never even thought about it. That would be wonderful. Honestly, who thinks it's going to be the Emerald Dream? Like, it screams obvious. And I can see what you're saying. If they did do the obvious Emerald Dream, maybe that is more of the outdated and buried lore, where it's like, we've heard about that. Sarah has waken up. What do we really need to go into the Emerald Dream for? But, like, honestly, it's cool.
There's stuff probably going on in the Emerald Dream that you have no idea about, that they are going to just blast you. It's going to be just it's going to be a madhouse of things going on, and the heroes of Warcraft are going to have to go into this Storm.
So the heroes of the storm are gonna have to.
Wait a minute.
But no,
No.
here's why. Here's why I think the Emerald Dream would be so cool. And you can say like, oh, it's outdated. It's older content. We've known about it. It's an obvious choice. But I would want to go in just by the description of it, and that's that you can see the past, the present, and the future, but it's not a cohesive thought. It's always ever changing, and it would be kind of similar to, say, like Deep Home, where the rocks were ever changing, if it was something even more intense than that. So it made like when you're in game and you go into the Emerald Dream, you're like, holy crap, did I just take some LSD or something, because I can't have a single conscious stream in this game. Like, something is always changing. Yes, that would pose difficulty with, quests and things like that, but I personally, that's where I'm putting my eggs. I'm going to be happy with anything, but that's where my eggs are in that particular basket.
I'm glad we've identified where Rev's eggs are.
I am going to completely disagree with both of you. Emerald Dream is dead. Leave it dead. It was set up like vanilla was set up, I believe, for the Emerald Dream. I think they went in a different direction. We got kind of some resolution of some of the story tie-ups in a book called Storm Rage. That kind of has to do with it. So the most we're left with is a little rift of Iran or something like that. But the most I can see is it could maybe be like a big patch or something like that, where we have to go in and defeat maybe an old god or something like that. I don't see it as a whole expansion on that, but I could see it as maybe like a one of the big patches during something else. But to go back to the original thing she was talking about, SOE EverQuest, I don't think Blizzard really has to do too much about it. I know it looks really great, like the graphics and everything, and you can do stuff with the environment, but man, the people I've been talking to, EverQuest nuts, have not been liking the changes they're doing. One, there's like no leveling. It's all endgame, and people love their leveling in EverQuest, so I think that's going to be a thing. And then like class race restrictions, they kind of did away with that, where you can be anything, which sounds good, but man, people are just not liking it. So I don't think Blizzard has to do too much, to be honest with you.
As many competitors have come up with Guild Wars, Final Fantasy, Realm Reborn, EQ. I mean, I don't think WoW really has anything to worry about. People come back if they leave. Star Wars, they come back.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I agree with Reb about the whole Emerald Dream thing, because I think, they trademarked Emerald Dream a while ago, right? Sorry, Huda, I'm sorry. they trademarked Emerald Dream like years ago, right? And they still haven't done anything with it. And so they're obviously playing something there. And maybe it's a little old school. I mean, I don't really follow lore, because, well, I just play video games and I skip the lore. But I think that a lot of players would like something a little old school. I think a lot of people are missing vanilla and TBC, and maybe a bit of a throwback would bring some of the people who fell out from Cataclysm and Miss Pandaria back into the game.
I think why I'm so stuck on Emerald Dream is that I was not a vanilla player, and yet when I look back at the vanilla content and the old vanilla raids, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had played back then. I wish I had struggled to 60 and, worked hard for that mountain, everything. So I think that's why I'm so stuck on it too. And I think, Archon, you just pointed it out. Vanilla players, they want to go back.
And from what
I talk about that on my stream all the time. If they just had servers with vanilla or TBC, we would totally start playing again.
Absolutely.
But Huda, I think you're right too. I don't think Blizzard really responds to other games. I think they're doing their own thing.
Yeah. Well, everything that I'm gathering is pretty much setting in stone that Hero of the Storms is going to be a book.
You've been thinking about this all the time?
Pretty well
a book
positive.
about Emerald Dream.
Pretty well positive. So, anyways, lots of speculation and thoughts. But that was a good email. Liz is awesome. She's at Darrow21 on Twitter. Make sure you're following her. She's one of my favorite people.
Totally.
The next one we got, Hoda, you want to hit this up? Archon.
Another Archon. This is Dear Archon, and it's from our head honcho, Eldorian. He's Archon, you used reverse psychology on me. You told us not to go to Google Cookie Clicker. Of course, the first thing I do was go to Google Cookie Clicker. He says, I want my life back. Please send help. And milk. We need milk for all the cookies.
Don't do it. Don't Google cookie clicker.
Don't Google
away.
it.
It's
A
dangerous.
cry for help. Everybody else listening, don't do it. I haven't done it yet because I'm scared of what will happen to me.
I'm not going to do it. But you know what? With as popular as it's becoming with this show, I mean, we may as well start covering it. I mean, we should start talking about the next expansion that's coming out where they're introducing macadamia nuts as the new support class. So.
I like it. I'm into it.
Anyway, so
get on that.
Yeah. Again, we say, don't do cookie clicker. So.
Once you start, you can't stop.
Okay. All right. Now, these next 3 emails, guys, these all tie into one idea. Okay. Last week, we covered an article that was all about gated content and the legendary cloak and everything like that. And we kind of came to an agreement that, if you put the hard work in and you put the effort in, you get the reward. And that's just how it rolls, So we got some emails about that. And there's some stuff going on. So let me just start reading these emails. It's good stuff. And yeah, just get ready. So the first one we got is from Sergeant Zim, who's actually in the chat room right now. Hello, sir. He says, "Howdy, TwizzCast crew. I just wanted to chime in on the Timeless Isle issue relating to gated content. First off, not even close to getting the cloak. Excuse me. I sat out TOT, and so I have a mountain to climb before I get my cloak on whichever character I decide to play this week. I love this kind of gated content. It gives you a reason beyond raiding to do the legendary quest. Most of the content up in the fortress is available to you if you are cunning and love birds, with the exception of the world boss. Keep it up, Blizz, as I love working towards a goal after hitting cap besides raiding. One more thing. Have you ever seen a... He's talking a little about Hearthstone. Have you ever seen a beta cause so much drama, more drama than the Hearthstone beta? I thought the mop drama was bad. The latest news about the beta wipes seem to have riled people up even more. Just goes to show that Blizz is great at making games, but still has some work to do on the PR end of things. Keep up the great show, Sergeant Zim, or whatever alt I'm playing that minute. Coltiris, Twisted Empire / Twisted Kingdom. So, he brings up a really good point. He says, you know what, you can get to this, you can see this stuff. You can see every square inch of that island. And, whether it's through a bird or whatever. And you know what, even if you don't see it now, you can come back to it later and see it again. That's how his play style is, you know what, I can't keep up with it right now when it's current tier because I can't put the time into it. But later on, when I overgear it and I overpower it, I can come back. And there's something to be said about that. When you can come to a raid one night and like Reb, you said earlier, you did some of the Cataclysm stuff this past weekend. How long were the fights? 30 seconds?
Gosh, not long at all.
Yeah.
Just steamrolled mechanics.
Yeah. And you know what, you come to it, you come back to it, and you just steamroll it like Reb did, and he'll get his legendary cloak. He won't get it now, but there's nothing wrong with that. So, and as far as the beta goes, yeah, I've never seen anything like this before, not even in the war. So,
nuts.
Yeah. Well, they've never really done a beta this inclusive before, right? Usually they're pretty hush-hush with their betas.
It kind of, sort of. I mean, I don't know. When Miss Pandaria was going to launch,
Yeah,
Zarm gave me like 50 keys to give out, and I was giving them out and whatever. I didn't really catch too much mop drama, but whatever. So,
no. I think his outlook on how to get the legendary cloak is probably the best and most upbeat thing I've heard about this.
The most healthy, mentally healthy way of viewing it.
Yeah, instead of crying like it's an uphill battle, I'm so far behind, which is the case sometimes. Like, I'm still working on it. I got the Runes of Fate, is that what it is, with the titanium bars and stuff? Yeah, I'm still on there.
Okay.
But if you need some inspiration to keep doing it, man, that's the way to look at it, I think.
Sure.
So,
heck yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next email we got is from Cole P. And Cole P kind of chimes in a little bit on the same thing. He says, I have a strong opinion, one way or the other, about every single discussion topic in WoW, but the topic of exclusivity, that was a weird one to say, is especially a huge deal to me. So far in Mists, we've had around 50 raid bosses, give or take 1 or 2. This includes all 9 world bosses, progression bosses, and one bonus boss. How many are gated? 2. Raiden and Ordos. We are far from not being accessible enough. We need more bosses where you need a full clear of a heroic raid or you need your legendary cloak. Ordos should never be accessible as other world bosses. Players need to stop acting entitled to every piece of content just because they pay the same fees as others. Excuse me. Make people work for stuff in WoW again. I loved the amount of dailies in 5.0. I loved not being able to buy my epic mounts, recipes, and gears without reaching Exalted. They were rewards for your time and effort. I also strongly disagree that LFR raiders should get their content all at once. No, you're taking the easy way out of raiding, and you will complain in 2 weeks that you haven't gotten new content. That crowd seems to be thankful for LFR. Before 4.3, if you wanted to raid, you actually had to join a team and be dedicated, not to mention actually have a challenge. Be grateful you can run through easy mode and get epic tier gear and miscellaneous at all. Back to the Ordos thing. I don't know what it's like right now, but there should be no way to cross over to Ordos if you don't have the cloak. No Albatross, no multi-man mounts, nothing. Blizzard needs to go back to the too bad mentality instead of catering to the lazy demographic. Now keep in mind, I'm reading this. I'm not saying this, folks. I'm reading this. All right? I'm just, before everybody's like, F you, Twiz. No,
I like it. Keep going.
Yeah. He says, sure, cater to the casuals. That's great. It's the biggest chunk of the diminishing player base. At least they will step out of their comfort zone. LFR players want everything. Normal raiders get and put in a tenth of the effort. Apparently normal raiders get too many incentives, which is false. Amount and title that the entire player base will ultimately have? Remember Dragon Soul, Ice Crown Citadel, Obsidian Sanctum? Also, we get a feat of strength, which really isn't much better. Now for LFR changes. Remove tier gear from LFR and also remove certain items from the loot table and only put them in Flex, Normal, and Heroic. Want tier gear? Join a raid team. Want exclusive items? Join a raid team. Complaining that your work hours don't allow for true raiding, therefore you should be entitled to easy epics and occasional legendaries? Sorry, that's tough luck. Being paid and being productive in a real life is better than obtaining pixels. To sum everything up, LFR should get less than what they have, in quotes, rare gear instead of epic, no tier gear. And there needs to be a lot more exclusive content where you can't game the system to pass the wall. Sincerely, a very disgruntled Cole P.
That got saucy at the end.
Wow.
Dang. Woo.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I tell you
What
what.
do you want to tackle first?
I know
There's a lot
Cole.
of things to talk about in there.
I know Cole. Cole is a good dude, and this is fired up. I think he's a little. I think it's a little extreme. What Blizzard did is all you're looking at as far as the tier gear goes is bonuses. It doesn't. I mean, every tier gear has a different color, a different skin, and everything like that. You're getting a 2-piece and a 4-piece bonus, which is nice, and that is a perk. And if you want to argue to take that perk away, then that's a valid argument for your standpoint. But where they take the hit is the eye level. Okay, so normally, I mean, it's a significant drop in eye level that your 2-piece bonus is nice. But if you had a 2-piece bonus with 10 or 25-man regular or heroic eye level, you're going to make a heck of a big difference than just your LFR 2 and 4-piece bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I actually agree with the first part of this email when he was talking about more of the gated content and kind of making people work for their stuff. I actually do agree with that, and you even see that more in the other Blizzard games, like for Diablo example. You know, they stop buying the auction house, go get your gear, right? So I kind of agree with that. Although the Golden Lotus dailies, they're dead, and I'm so happy for them. Yeah, but I really bosses being gated. I agree, and then he goes back to normal raiders really don't get that much. They get a title, which they get to show off for a while. That's true. And he does have a point because I'm waiting for the next expansion so I can go back and steamroll that so I can get those titles. He's absolutely right about that. That's not much incentive. But I do agree with you, Twiz, and disagree with Cole here is, man, you cannot take tier out of looking for raid. Absolutely not. Yeah. I think that's ridiculous.
You know what? The chat room is bouncing all over the place. GanjaBoy888 says, not really keeping my job is better than trying to raid on a game just because some people are lucky enough to stay at home and play games all day. I have 4 kids and was never able to raid before, so LFR is a perfect fit for people like me. But then at the same time, Lunaria 52, Lunary, L-U-N Area 52, says this is why we enjoyed the past expansions, TBC, for example, attunements, content that most of us would never see unless we really worked for it. It's nice to see rewards for your effort. It seems silly and unrewarding when you're just given everything for nothing, really. This is a very controversial topic. There's a lot built into this. And again, it all comes down to the player base. So I ask you this. If you're Blizzard, what do you do? Right now, I'm looking at Ganja Boy, and I'm looking at LUN Area 52. 2 different people, 2 different lifestyles. How do you please them both? You can't do it.
I think the problem is pretty obvious. If you're a hardcore WoW player, like I would be if I was playing WoW, and I was when I was, you're going to want everything to be exclusive. You want the game to be tailored for the people who have the time to put in a lot of work. And if you don't have a lot of time, but you like WoW, then you're going to want it to be more tailored to casuals. You're going to be able to get what the hardcore people are getting with less time. And Blizzard's just got to try to cater the majority, I think.
So what you're saying is that Blizzard kind of took a middle stance and was like, here's LFR if you don't have time, and here's 2 gated content and 2 gated bosses for if you do have time and you are hardcore. So you're saying, wow, surprise, that's why we have gated bosses and we're in the middle to please everybody.
Yeah. And I guess you don't 100% please anybody, but there's no way to do that, right?
Here's the Storm as a book.
Yeah, looking for raid's getting a lot of heat lately, especially with the current tier kind of being difficult, as we talked about before. But I think they do some of the stuff. Example, even some of the better gear is obviously in normal and heroics. But if you take a look at like the models as well, like Garrosh's shoulders, which is awesome, Tussa Manaroth, what up? Only drops in normal and heroic, so you can't get that on heroic and flex. So I think things like that are good as well, and that's kind of an incentive to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but man, I
think a good maybe little fix for this, because I'm seeing in the chat room, and I'm trying to keep up with it here. But there's a lot of people that are like, bring back attunements. Okay, so I mean, you could do anything. You could put a series of quests together, you know, where you have to go through various dungeons. Or maybe you have to go and kill the second boss of a current raid tier. Now, the good thing about that is you kill that second boss and get what you need for the next step of whatever you're doing. I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing this crap out there. But you could do that, and it forces you to get on a normal raid team. Whether they carry you through it or not, you're there for the 10-man or the 25-man regular experience to get the piece that you need. You got to do that little piece of normal raiding for one night, one time. You know, all you needed for that. And that might be something that's worth introducing. You know, you don't have to dedicate yourself to a team. Just find a way to hop in that one night and get a taste of that 10 or 25-man experience. Again, whether you get carried through or whether you actually help that team make that kill and get everybody with you what they need off that boss too. I mean, whatever. But that's maybe another area that, you know, that we could stroll down. It's hard to say.
That's a good point. Lukey and our buddy in the chat room points out the legendary cloak. It's pretty much a attunement for Ordos.
Yeah.
So, they already got it. Twiz, what up?
No, I'm thinking. Okay. This is for the legendary cloak, but I'm thinking like attunements for all raids. You know, like I'm talking future. I'm not talking present.
Yeah. So you're kind of.
So what about that, chat room?
So like what they did with Karazhan and like Black Temple. Are you talking about those attunements? Because nobody's gonna go for that, I don't think.
Nobody's gonna go. Well, but the chat room. I'm scrolling back up, and they're saying that was it. That was the hot poo back in the day.
No, I agree. I absolutely loved it because I got to experience it because I was a little bit hardcore back in the day. Those were great, but when you wanted to get like a new person in guild or somebody joins your guild and you're like, hey, you can't come raid because I didn't kill this one part of the quest, you're stuck. Your raid team's stuck. That person's screwed. It was actually just you couldn't introduce new people to your content you were doing was the problem, I think.
But technology has advanced, and you know our lovely friends over at Open Raid They have a wonderful website catered specifically so that you can find somebody. The only problem would be, updating, having to do crossover for current content.
Yeah.
Like 10 or 25.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
That is a good point. Ghostcrawler himself tweeted that open rate is the future.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Now, the last email that I want to talk about, and this is completely at the other end of the spectrum. Okay? I got a tweet from Disintegrate on Twitter, and we started talking a little bit, and he was pretty on fire for Jesus about what I'm about to read. And I said, dude, put this in an email, man, and send it to me. So he says, hello, Twiz, Reb, Hoda, and Archon. After listening to the legendary cloak discussion on the last show, I felt like the other side needed to be brought up. Well, it started that way, at least. As I listened to you guys discuss the entitlement of non-legendary owners, I nearly fell out of my chair. Since when is the orange item not enough? I don't recall Thunder Fury, or the Glaives, or Terragosa, or any of the others giving anything but the already substantial power of a legendary. As I did more research, the gap appears even wider. Convert to Raid, among several other shows, discussed logs showing the cloak provides a minimum of 6% and up to 20% DPS increase. Mind you, that's without the Warforged gear that Ordos drops, that us plebeian non-cloaks don't even get a shot at. If the Celestials' loot was equal to Ordos, or even had a slim chance of it, it wouldn't matter so much, but again, it just feels like Blizzard giving handouts to the people who need it least. All that said, I do understand that the cloak wasn't just given out, and that people worked all X-Pack for it. However, the bonuses from the cloak more than warrant the effort to put in. It's time for the elitists to go take a look in the mirror and lose some of their entitlement. This is one of the last remaining barriers to alts in Mists of Pandaria, and I just can't grasp Blizz's reluctance to let go. None of the previous world bosses were gated in this way. Thanks for hearing me out, and sorry if it's a bit ranty. Sincerely, Disintegrate. P.S. The more I think about it, if they had just put Ordos in as a heroic-only boss, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Think Sinestra or Raiden. If gating must exist, let it be skill-based. Put that stuff in as heroic-only, or require gold proving grounds or something like that. But assuming Blizz sticks with their accelerated content releases, the reality is that a player who just changed mains is stuck behind months of collection and valor capping to get current, just in time for the next X-Pack when it becomes worthless.
That's a good argument.
Yeah. It is. You know what? You got a legendary. What else do you need? I mean, unless I haven't done the Ordos fight, I don't know anything about it. But maybe it's one of them things where... No, I don't even know. I was going to say maybe it's just like a chance for you to flex that cloak or something, I mean, like freaking whatever, it's just a burn. I have no clue. But he brings up a very valid point. I mean, for crying out loud, you worked all expansion, you got a legendary. Why do you need more? Why do you get more? Why do the other people who don't have that legendary not only they don't get a crack at it?
Yeah, seems like he doesn't really disagree with the gating idea. Just maybe have a different requirement than the cloak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, he's disagreeing with the gating idea because it's all based around the legendary. At the end, he says basically, if you want to make it a heroic boss in a dungeon or in a raid somewhere or something, then we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But by all rights and purposes, right now. Why do you work all X-Pack? You get your legendary, which is a significant DPS, tanking, and healing increase. And then on top of that, you get your own boss that nobody else gets. What do you think, Reb? Why is everybody hating on this?
I don't want to completely go against this email because I get it, dude. Disintegrate. I hear you loud and clear. But in my mind, when I think about the struggles for my previous raid teams for getting the Terragosa staff when it was current, when I think about getting my daggers when it was current, it was much, much more difficult to obtain those than it has been to obtain the legendary steps this particular expansion. in all honesty, it's so much easier because you can go into LFR and complete it, and it's as minor as like Valor capping. Just collect this off of bosses, and it'll drop along the way. And there's really I can only think of one part where you really might get hung up, and that's when you test your personal skill against your August Celestial. But in all honesty, I feel like it's been too easy. And the payoff at the very end should be something amazing, and I feel like it should be Ordos. I feel like it was all leading up to this last boss, and I get where you're coming from, dude. I understand completely, but you're not going to change my mind.
Yeah.
But you had great points, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
There's good points. And you know what? I will say this. The only rebuttal that I have is last week I made the point, I gave a comparison where it's like saying you walk into your work, your place where you work, and you look at the boss and say, you make more money than I do, and the rest of us here, it's not fair. We should all be making the same amount of money. Even though he put the time in, he was there 22 years ago. He's the boss now. He's put his time in, and he's reaping the benefits of making that money. Okay? And so I made that comparison last episode. You can go back and listen to it. I went a little bit more in depth with it. But now it feels to me like what he's saying is not only am okay, I understand that you put the time in and you're the boss now and you make more money, but I am really, really torqued that you drive a Cadillac. I'm really torqued that you are reaping I cannot afford a Cadillac because I don't make the money you do. And that's kind of like, you know what? I'm sorry. It's one of them things. I worked hard. I got my reward. I got my job. And this is just another perk that comes with it. Because, honestly, once you get that legendary cloak and you go and you blow up the DPS meters and you raid for this entire tier and everything like that, it's just a little bit of frosting on the cake. And
honestly, for it to just be one boss at the very end, and it's not like we don't have world bosses ourselves for us non-cloakies, because I don't have mine yet. We have the August Celestials that we can go against and get our world drops weekly. But it's one boss. One boss. Let them have it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not talking about if you don't have your legendary cloak, you can't play the next expansion. It's one boss when you said that.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of testing the waters, too, hopefully, on this world boss. Because world bosses have become pretty trivial. In the last couple of expansions, it doesn't have the same feel as it did in Vanilla and BC, where guilds used to rush to it and race to them and stuff like that, which was really cool. Now people just get a group together and trade, and it's no big deal. So I think this kind of makes it mean a little more. And I totally agree with you guys, although he does make great points, as you said. Man, they work so hard. Well, I won't say so hard. They work long enough to get that cloak. Go kill a world boss. Yeah. And point mentioned in the trade chat that I almost forgot was, if you get the cloak on one character, you can go on your alt and kill him as well and still get loot. So you only need the cloak on one character. That's a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
See, I don't really play Miss Pandaria, but just listening to the email, which I thought was very well written, and you guys talk, it seems like the legendary cloak was worth it before you got Ordos, right?
Yes.
Even if you don't get Ordos, you're still getting. It's still worth it, right? It's one of the easier legendaries. It's what's a really good legendary. I think maybe a better metaphor would be going into your boss and saying, hey, look, you've been here for a lot longer, so you already make more money, right? You already have your legendary cloak. Why is it that you're also now getting a bonus on top of that?
Yeah.
Maybe you get the legendary cloak for doing that, and then the Ordos. Would that be? Then you still have to work for Ordos, but you're not so far behind if you didn't work towards your legendary cloak.
It would be like, why is your Christmas bonus $10,000 and why is mine only $2,000? Because I only do August Celestials. That's basically, yeah.
And that's what he kind of did on the PS. He was, I guess, giving some examples of what they could do for different attunements to Ordos, as you were saying, Archon. So I guess that's a pretty good point as well. So.
If ever there was any valid points as to Ordos being free for all, that was the best points and the best written. Just still not going to convince me.
Oh, one side thing. He mentions the Proving Grounds. Have you guys done the Proving Grounds? I want to know this. Forgot to mention it earlier in the
I got
show.
my silver and tanking. I haven't attempted gold yet, but I've got my silver and tanking, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Golden tanking, sucker!
Did you got it? You got it? Good deal. Good deal. I haven't even tried it yet, so I'll give that a whirl one of these nights. But you know what? The coolest thing that I've read in trade chat, I haven't read anything cool in trade chat in a while. In the chat room here is 4/4 was talking about the 6% DPS increase on an already stellar gear set is perfume on a pig. Their gear is probably top notch by then, anyways. Coolest thing, that best point. That's a great point as well. Perfume on a pig, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to name this show Devil's Advocate, but I may name it Perfume on a Pig just because that was awesome.
You can put perfume on a pig, but it's still a pig.
Well, if you guys want to weigh in on any of this stuff, podcast@blizzpro.com, and we would love to hear from you. We got a whole bunch of emails this week, and I loved every bit of it. I had a lot of fun during this segment. So here comes the saddest part of my week. I say it every week, but it's true. That's going to bring this episode of TwizzCast to a close, everyone. And we certainly appreciate you joining us. For all the information and articles and stuff covered on this episode, you can go to TwizzCast.com or BlizzPro.com and check those links out. One more quick mention of our sponsor, Doghouse Systems. If you enter the coupon, if you're looking to upgrade your computer rig, you got an old one, you ran into some money, you got some birthday money, Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up, whatever. If you're going to get a new rig, Doghouse Systems, family environment, these guys are down to earth. If you have a problem with your computer, you call them, you talk to the dude that made your computer. How does that happen, right? But he knows everything about your computer, and he built it, and their customer service is through the roof. Now here's what happens. You buy one of their computers, you enter the code TWIZ at checkout, you get double your RAM for free, all the way up to 32 gigs. So you do the math on that, you're looking at like $90. So what did I do is I just took $90 out of that pile and I put it back in your pocket to go buy something else. Recommended SteelSeries, one of our other sponsors for all the peripherals, everything from gaming mice and headsets to and much more, keyboards and everything like that. There still is the WoW sale going on. Highly recommend you guys check that out. Also, don't forget /loot.com. We got a tweet from Triumph this week. He got his new BlizzPro TwizzCast T-shirt.
That was awesome.
Epic drop.
It looked good.
It looked awesome. So make sure you go over to /loot.com. I would love to see a lot of TwizzCast T-shirts at BlizzCon. There's no doubt about it. So,
as we're walking slow-mo video, remember we're doing that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
The only one that wants. Yes.
Yeah, everybody's saying I saw that tweet. That's awesome. So, all right. Let's see here. I'm gonna let Reb go first because Hoda obviously needs some time to charge up for this. Reb, do you have anything you'd like to say before we leave out and blast out of here for this week?
No. Of course I do, Twiz. What kind of question is that? First off, gaming will be whatever you want it to be. And second off, Tazdingo!
That just happened.
It's pretty good.
That was really good.
Oh boy. And Hoda.
Yeah.
A couple things I want to mention real quick. There's sweet WoW things out. WoW Ultimate Guide. It's a sweet, what is it? A lore thing. It's like a awesome art book that goes step by step of the timeline, which is really cool if you want to catch up on that. Also, WoW Trivia Pursuit came out. Woo! Yeah. Although I have no real life friends that play, which is unfortunate and sad. It's a new subject.
I'm headed to Hoda's house to go do that.
Yes.
I can see us incorporating that into the show.
And if you want to do like a mumble trivia night thing, hit me up. Sure. Twitter. Yeah. Do it.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys are following at Twisted Empire on Twitter as well. Blue, one of our guildies, is doing a Diablo event called Twisted Demon, I think it was?
Twisted Devil.
Devil, that's what it was. Twisted Devil. And they're going to be organizing Diablo 3 groups to go in there and just wreck shop and level and have fun. So pay attention to Twitter because we're going to be tweeting quite a bit more about that. So, Archon, do you have anything for the masses, sir?
Yeah, well, October 6th is a week from Sunday. We're doing our big charity event, so if you want to get power leveled with Twiz or you want to get rushed through Ubers while we help raise money for children's hospitals, good time to stop by my stream, just twitch.tv/ArchonTheWizard. And don't play Cookie Clicker.
Yeah. Again, 2 weeks in a row. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Obviously, my last week's warning wasn't strong enough because people went out and now Reb's addicted. And
oh, man.
3 billion cookies in the background right now.
I keep thinking of the movie Knocked Up, where she's actually having the baby, and that the one guy goes in there. I forget what his name is, but he's like, I'm gonna go in and see if I can help, and he goes in there, and they're like, get out, and he comes back out to the waiting room, and he's like, don't go in there. I shouldn't have gone in there. I shouldn't have done that. Don't go in there. Promise me you won't go in there. That's what this is all about.
Nice.
Oh, yep. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cookie clicker on the screen.
Yeah. Got 84 trillion on there.
84 trillion. All right. Everybody, chat room, thank you so much for coming out. And please tell a friend about our show. And until next week, everyone, from the crew here at TwizzCast, we encourage you to game safe, love one another, and please, everyone within the sound of my voice, take care. Hey guys, you've been listening to TwizzCast, the official podcast of BlizzPro.com. You can follow us all on Twitter at TwizzCast, at TwizzTE, at TankThatReb, and at Willie_Foss. The show notes and articles that we discuss can be found at BlizzPro.com. And if you'd like to drop us a line, send the email to podcast@BlizzPro.com. Thanks again, and we will catch you next week.